The nation's best MMA returns on June 15th with Rocktagon XXV, Way of the Warrior, at the UAW Event Center, local number 1005 in Cleveland, Ohio. Rocktagon's National Pro-Am Series returns to pick Cleveland's best MMA talent against the best fighters from around the globe. The main event featuring Taiwan, the Rising Dragon Howard, taking on Chicago's Quentin McCradle. Tickets starting at $35 are on sale now at RocktagonWorldwide.com or any discount drug mart. Music by American Wi-Fi. RocktagonWorldwide.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is in the Rocktagon Professional Lightweight Division. It is brought to you by Indy West Harley-Davidson, and it is your main event of the evening. Introducing first, making his way down the aisle into the blue corner, please welcome Clint Anderson!
Main event time, and we have a good one for you here tonight. Clint Anderson, 4-1 as a professional fighter. Militich Fighting Systems, hails from Rock Island, Illinois, which is just a brief 5 minutes from Bettendorf, Iowa. The gym made famous by Pat Militich. Clint Anderson, another in a long line of great fighters coming out of there.
I mean, this is really a veteran in the game. The 4-1 professional record might fool you into thinking he's a newcomer, but he has an extensive amateur history going all the way back to '08. And it even goes even further back than that when he started training, and they challenged him to take on a guy that nobody could beat. 29-10, he said, hell, I've been training for 4 months. You want me to do it? I'll do it. Got in there and beat him.
Talk about the members of the camp that he fights with. He's cornered Spencer Fisher in the UFC, cornered Drew McFedries, went to corner Matt Hughes, the Hall of Famer in the UFC. Training partner of Drew McFedries, he said it only made him tougher. You know, you start training at the gym and no one would fight, no one would spar with Drew McFedries. Clint Anderson had no problem doing it, and that's how they kind of formed a bond, because he was willing to take punches from the hard-hitting McFedries.
I mean, he's your prototypical tough guy. He's going to get in there. If you're getting into the cage with Clint Anderson, you think you're going to knock him out, you better find a different game plan, because that's not the way this goes down. Clint Anderson's loss as a professional came via submission. He's just the type of guy who is the type of guy you don't want to see in a street fight, that's for sure. But he's got a game opponent here tonight as well, a younger guy. We'll see if that experience of being 32 years old, being around the fight game since he was in high school, we'll see if that helps Clint Anderson out here tonight in the main event.
Let's bring out his opponent, and I expect to hear from the crowd when he's introduced. Jake, let's introduce Joe Lile.
And his opponent, making his way down the aisle into the red corner, please welcome Joe Superhero Lile!
There is the crowd noise for the 21-year-old, Noblesville, Indiana. Joe Superhero Lile representing TYB and Fisher's BJJ in boxing. Repping the Michigan sweatshirt. He was born in Michigan before moving out here to Indiana. And as we look at the defense soap, tail of the tape, Will Burge, what stands out to you?
Well, obviously the age here is Clint Anderson checking in at 32 years old. Joe Lile only a spry 21. 6 feet tall for both fighters, 155 pounds for both fighters, 1 inch reach for Clint Anderson, 73 inches to 72 for Joe Lile. But Joe Lile, yes, a heavy crowd favorite. With that comes pressure. He admitted as such before the fights. He also seemed a little bit nervous as we talked to him there, Ryan. And I know a lot of fighters get nervous before they go out there, and I know the guy's 3-0 as a professional. I know he's never lost as an amateur. Pressure mounts when A, you're fighting in front of people you know, and B, you don't even know what a loss feels like. Clint Anderson said for the last 8 or 9 months, 89 weeks, excuse me, he's only been focusing on giving this kid his first loss of his career, but it's going to be a tough draw because Joe Lile, very, very special fighter, could do it every different way, but really a submission specialist down on the mat.
Yeah, comes from a boxing background. His father was a boxer, well-known boxer out of Detroit, and then Joe himself wrestled for 2 years at Lincoln College. All 3 wins as a professional are by submission. He's a guy who likes to take the fight to the ground. Combined record of these two is 7-1. This is the kind of action we expect out of a main event from Rocktagon.
And you talk about, you know, gets the submissions on the ground for his victories, but he also admitted to us, look, you got to beat him up in the stand-up first before you get him down to the ground, and he's probably going to have to do that here tonight. I don't think you ever want to look to try to knock out Clint Anderson, as I said earlier, but you definitely got to beat him up a little bit before you get him down there if you think you're going to submit him.
Certainly. We've got both fighters in the cage. It's main event time at Rocktagon 25. Jake Digman, official introductions are yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. It is sanctioned by the Athletic Division of the Indiana Gaming Commission, Director Andy Means, Assistant Director Joanna Holland, Inspectors Tony Johnson, Dan Spears, and Bill Koontz. Your judges are Kelvin Caldwell, Pat Morley, and Michael Rowe. And when the action begins, your referee will be Mr. Gary Copeland. This bout is in the Rocktagon Professional Lightweight Division. It is brought to you by Indy West Harley-Davidson and coming to you live from the Crane Bay Event Center here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Up on your feet for your main event of the evening! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Rock Island, Illinois, he weighed in at 155 pounds, representing Militant Fighting Systems with an MMA professional record, 4 wins, 1 loss. Please welcome Clint Anderson! His opponent in the red corner, he fights out of Noblesville, Indiana. He weighed in at 155 pounds, representing TYB and Fishers, BJJ and boxing, with an undefeated professional record, 3 wins, 0 losses. Please welcome Joe Superhero Lile!
Listen up, fellas. You both receive your instructions in the back. Expect to listen to my commands at all time. Have a clean, fair fight. Any questions out of you, Blue? How about you, Red? Let's touch them up and fair fight.
It's main event time, Rocktagon 25.
And I don't know if you caught that, Ryan. Lile just denied the glove touch there before the fight.
Well, was wondering who's going to have the jitters. Clint Anderson coming out of Illinois in the black fight trunks. Joe Lile in the spandex is fighting right here in Indianapolis. Yeah. He seemed like the more nervous fighter, or anxious fighter before, and Anderson more of a veteran.
It doesn't look like he's very nervous anymore. Joe Lile has now delivered a left hand early on. That was a lot of power behind that one, too.
Big straight right, and that's 3 leg kicks that have landed for Anderson. A slip rather, and Joe Lile, the wrestler, looking to get into side control. This is where Lile wants to be. Clint Anderson, before the fight, I said, is there an area where you think you're better? And he said all of them. He feels like he's the more well-rounded mixed martial arts in every aspect of this fight. But you expect that sort of confidence out of a guy 4-1, 32 years old, been around the fight game a long time.
Yeah, and you know, he said he's like I don't think the kid has a lot of weaknesses, but you got to find what there is and then exploit it. And he didn't exactly tell us. Gave us a little bit of a hint of what he was going to try to do, but it didn't work out there at the beginning of this match because right now already Joe Lile on top, and this is where he thrives. He talked about he's still got 2 years of college eligibility left. He might go back and wrestle collegiately again, even after starting off his professional career so greatly and trying to continue the perfection here tonight.
Clint Anderson back to his feet, takes center cage, and Joe Lile has the clinch, knee to the body, uppercut by Anderson. This is a chess match. Lile with the clinch, and there's a knee that gets through.
And you can see the power of Lile. He's able to just move Anderson wherever he wants to put him inside the cage. And that's that wrestling. That's the big, thick, strong legs, and then the upper body of Lile, which is obviously bigger than Clint Anderson's as well.
And look for the knees here. There, nice job. Little dirty boxing from Joe Lile. And both guys working for the clinch. This is a little tie clinch battle here. Trading elbows to the ribs. Chess match up against the cage.
And don't let Joe Lile's age of 21 fool you. He's been training since 15 or 16 years old. Always thought it would end up here in MMA. In fact, started training MMA almost the exact same time he started training wrestling.
Head kick from Clint Anderson, just misses. There's a teep from Anderson. Body kick, And a right hand from Joe Lile. Stunned him, and Clint Anderson is out. There's a big right, the ref has got to step in. Clint Anderson is out. The superhero Joe Lile, first round KO.
He caught him with that right-handed uppercut, and it was night time for Clint Anderson. And like you should do, have to finish off the fight. Even though the fighter goes down, Joe Lile finishes it off. And Clint Anderson just now figuring out exactly what happened. What an explosive punch there from Joe Lile. He came in on the attack, caught him on the uppercut, and that was all she wrote.
That was a statement fight for Joe Lile. Certainly the biggest name on his resume. And look here, a head kick that grazes him. And watch how Joe Lile responds to getting hit. Here comes the right. There's that tape measuring distance.
Right hand.
Right to the temple.
That dazed him.
That's autopilot for Clint Anderson. And a right uppercut, another one.
That was the one right there. The two back-to-back uppercuts. The second one snapped the jaw sideways of Clint Anderson, tumbles to the mat, and Joe Lile, I mean, I think it's accurate to say a meteoric rise through MMA right now. This is one of the guys everybody's looking at as the best up-and-coming fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at 2 minutes and 17 seconds of the first round,